On Global TV News Express, President Tinubu meets APC stakeholders at Presidential Villa ahead of party convention. In business, federal government launches national halal economy strategy to tap $7.7 trillion global market on the foreign scene. United States Iran talks begin in Oman in push to prevent war. In sport, Nigerian Boxing Federation trials for Commonwealth Games to begin March 1st. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Sadia Yakubu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365, and Star Times, channels 276. And now the news in details. President Bola Tinubu has met with key stakeholders of the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) at the Presidential Villa in Abuja to review preparations for the party's forthcoming convention and congresses. Speaking after the meeting, APC National Chairman Professor Nentawe Dwadda described the engagement as a brief but positive session focused on aligning with the party's preparation and ensuring cohesion among all arms of government. According to him, the discussions centered on strengthening synergy between the national leadership, sub-national government and National Assembly and the party structure ahead of the convention and Congress. The meeting brought together members of the APC's national leadership, governors and the party's caucus in the National Assembly. As preparations gather momentum for the 2027 general election, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has expanded Nigeria's political space with the registration of 2 new political parties. It, however, expresses concern over a deepening leadership crisis within several existing parties. Our correspondent Samuel Odi reports.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has approved the registration of 2 new political parties, the Democratic Leadership Alliance and Nigerian Democratic Congress, ahead of the 2027 general election. The announcement was made in Abuja during INEC's first consultative meeting with political parties for the year, increasing the number of registered political parties in Nigeria to 21. INEC Chairman Professor Amopitan San explained that while the DLA met all constitutional and regulatory requirements, the NDC was registered in compliance with a ruling of the Federal High Court.
After due consideration, only the Democratic Leadership Alliance was found to have complied fully with the requirement of the law.
The chairman noted that many of the disputes end up in court, diverting INEC from its core responsibility of voters' education and election management. The INEC chairman also raised concerns over declining voters' turnout, revealing that participation in the presidential elections has dropped sharply over the years from over 53% in 2011 to just 26.7% in 2023 general election. He stressed that technology alone cannot fix voters' apathy, urging political stakeholders to rebuild public trust in democratic process.
A credible register of voters remains the bedrock of free, fair, and transparent elections. No electoral process can command public confidence without trust in the integrity of its voters' register.
Responding, the national chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, Dr. Yusuf Danlata, urged INEC to remain neutral and renewed calls for wider-ranging electoral reforms. He also advocated mandatory real-time transmission of results and conduct of election on the same day to reduce cost and voters' fatigue.
INEC has submitted it for real-time transmission of electoral results. Citizens expect an improved electoral framework that will restore trust and confidence in the democratic system, one in which every vote counts and the people's mandate is respected.
Meanwhile, INEC assured Nigerians of its readiness for upcoming elections, including the FCTA Area Council elections on February the 21st, 2026, as well as the Ekiti and Osun State governorship elections scheduled for June and August 2026, respectively. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
Margarine and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have moved to deepen their diplomatic ties and overhaul pilgrimage administration following a high-level meeting between Nigerian Foreign Minister Yusuf Tugar and the Saudi Minister of Hajj and Umrah. Ramsey Enoch reports.
During the engagement in Abuja, Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister emphasized the visit reflects the enduring bonds of friendship and brotherhood between the two nations, rooted in shared faith and mutual respect, while conveying President Bola Tinubu's message to King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud and Crowned Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The minister reaffirms Nigeria's intention to strengthen bilateral cooperation with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He also appreciated the Saudi government for its recent infrastructure investment and visionary reforms designed to enhance the safety and experience of global pilgrims.
Nigeria and Saudi Arabia share a relationship deeply rooted in creed, mutual respect, and strong people-to-people ties. Over the decades, this relationship has continued to flourish across political, economic, cultural, and spiritual dimensions. Cooperation in the administration of Hajj and Umrah remains one of the most significant pillars of this partnership, reflecting our collective responsibility to safeguard the welfare, dignity, and spiritual fulfillment of pilgrims.
Yusuf Tugar, Foreign Affairs Minister. The Minister of Hajj and Umrah of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Tafiq Al-Rabia, reaffirmed the kingdom's commitment to institutional cooperation with Nigeria. This meeting also find ways to address consular challenges to combat recurring issues like Umrah visas and overstay by Nigerian pilgrims, among others.
We also look forward to the continued joint coordination in preparation for the Hajj season of 1447 Hijri, in a manner that enhances operational readiness, contributes to the smooth flow of procedures, and ensures the safety of pilgrims and the quality of services provided to them.
Minister of Hajj. Both parties conveyed strong optimism that the discussion would lead to tangible results and further strengthen the already strong ties between Nigeria and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Ramsey Enoch Agbo, Global Television News.
Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has assured the judiciary of the federal government resolve to strengthen the 3 M's of government as he inspected the ongoing construction of buildings and residential quarters for judges in Abuja. Kabir Hassan reports.
The inspection tour took the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, to several judicial infrastructure projects across Abuja. This includes the construction of official residence for the President of Court of Appeal, Chief Judges, Judges of the National Industrial Court, the Federal High Court, and the FCT High Court. The Minister also inspected the ongoing construction of the Court of Appeal Abuja Division, as well as Judges' residential quarters, designed to provide a secure and dignified living environment for members of the bench. He described the project as part of the initiative to support the judiciary, noting that adequate infrastructure is critical to strengthen the independence and efficiency of the court.
One of the directives of such government to the FCT and FCDA is to see how we can reduce the accommodation burden as it affects the judiciary. Also talk about the welfare and the environment where the state to do their work is very key. Luckily for us, we were just there this morning and saw that the work is almost 85–90% ready. We believe by the grace of God, with the speed they are going, we believe by June, July, they would have handed over these projects for Mr. President to hand over to the judiciary.
According to the minister, the projects are being executed in line with Abuja Master Plan and are expected to be completed by June or July 2026. He stressed that the initiative aligns with President Bola Tinubu's agenda of reforming institutions and improving working conditions for critical arms of government, including the judiciary. Providing befitting court complexes and residential accommodation for judges, according to the minister, will enhance service delivery, improve morale, and reinforce public confidence in justice system. The project formed part of broader effort by the Federal Capital Territory Administration to modernize public infrastructure and strengthen government institutions within the nation's capital. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News.
The federal government says it is strengthening the implementation of the National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro Pocket as part of urgent measures to achieve food security and sustainability across the country. This renewed push is being driven through a nationwide partnership with the Bank of Agriculture, covering all 36 state and federal capital territory. Anita Patrick reports.
At a two-day stakeholders review and preparatory workshop in Nasarawa State, the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Aliyu Abdullahi, said the Tinubu administration has declared an emergency on food and nutrition security to boost production, improve affordability, and stabilize prices. He explained that the NAFSAP program focuses on 6 staple crops: rice, wheat, maize, sorghum, soybean, and cassava, designed to bridge Nigeria's food supply gap. According to the minister, the scheme has recorded over 2.5 million metric tons of food produce across 4 farming seasons.
We have been able to achieve the following: a total of 2,536,184 metric tons of various produce were produced across these 4 seasons, with an estimated value of 2,312,746,400,000.
The workshop, organized by the NASAP Project Secretariat in collaboration with the Bank of Agriculture, is reviewing past implementation challenges while finalizing a modified framework anchored on transparency, technology, and stakeholder collaboration. The National Project Coordinator of NASAP, Ishaku Buba, says plans are also underway to roll out NAS 2.0 and a GCA supported program.
You are present even at short notice to show your readiness to partner with the National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro Pocket and her partner Bank of Agriculture. The project, aside supporting farmers with critical farm inputs for the production of the priority crops, will also provide institutional support for better performances.
The permanent secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture, Dr. Marcus Ogumbi, represented by the Director of Planning and Policy Coordination, Ibrahim Tanimo, noted that the new ICT-driven platform will link farmers, financial institutions, extension officers, and input providers for better coordination and accountability.
Aside supporting farmers with critical farm inputs for the production of priority crops, we also institutionalize support for better performances and sustainability, particularly in areas of stable food production.
With expanded coverage, improved financing, and institutional support, the federal government says the strengthened NASAP framework will remain a key driver of sustainable food production and economic sustainability in Nigeria. Anita Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
A new chapter in the policing begins in Imo State as new Commissioner of Police Audu Boso officially assumes duty after taking over from Aboki Danjuma, vowing to deepen community partnership, enforce discipline within the force, and protect lives and properties across the state. Our correspondent Amarachi Ibe reports.
At the Imo State Police Command Headquarters in Owerri, the mantle of leadership formally changed hands as CP Audu Garba Bose takes over as the 42nd Commissioner of Police in the state, addressing officers and stakeholders at a brief assumption of office ceremony. The new police chief expresses appreciation to the Inspector General of Police for the confidence reposed in him to oversee security operations in Imo State. He also acknowledges the Police Service Commission for the appointment and commends his predecessor for laying a foundation upon which improved security architecture can be built. CP Bose assures residents that the protection of lives and properties remains non-negotiable, stressing that effective policing can only thrive through trust, cooperation, and active community engagement.
The safety and security of Imolites remain my foremost priority. I call on security agencies, stakeholders, and all other Imolites to work together in tackling crimes and social vices. My administration will be guided by community-based policing, intelligence-led operations, and a people-friendly approach, ensuring that all actions strictly adhere to the rules of law and respect human rights.
The commissioner calls on traditional rulers, community leaders, youth groups, and sister security agencies to work closely with the police in confronting crime and other security vices threatening public peace. He also charges area commanders, divisional police officers, and tactical units to remain professional, responsive, and citizen-focused in discharge of their duties, warning that corruption and misconduct will attract decisive sanctions.
I also want to make it clear that this administration will not tolerate corruption, high-handedness, incivility to public, any form of professional misconduct. Officers are expected to uphold the highest standards of professionalism, integrity, and accountability. I assure the public of my unwavering commitment to protecting lives and property, maintaining peace, and fostering people-friendly, law-abiding policing culture across Imo State.
As the new police leadership settles in, expectations remain high across Imo State for improved security and renewed commitment to public service, with authorities emphasizing that lasting peace will depend on strong collaboration between the police and the people. From Owerri, I'm Marachi Ibe, reporting for Global TB News.
Senior pastor of Dunamis International Gospel Center, Dr. Paul Enechi, has called on leaders at all levels of governance to show greater responsibility, compassion, and commitment to the welfare and safety of Nigerians, warning that the nation is at a critical crossroad. Dr. Enechi made the call on arrival in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, where he is leading a two-day healing and deliverance crusade with the team Mercy of God. Felicity Inderi has the details.
Addressing journalists, the cleric expressed deep concern over the rising wave of insecurity and mounting socio-economic challenges across the country, describing the situation as grave and demanding urgent action. He noted that Nigeria is facing a defining moment, stressing that beyond policy responses, moral leadership and compassion for human lives must be restored at the highest level of authority. Dr. Eneche emphasized that without responsible leadership and sincere concern for the people, the nation risks further instability, adding that divine mercy remains critical to averting deeper crises.
And we do our best to do the work of our hands. We look up to God and trust Him for His intervention. And let the leadership of our nation and the leadership of our at all levels take responsibility and have a heart for human beings.
He urged Nigerians to turn to prayers and seek God's intervention, encouraging citizens not to lose hope, but to look beyond human solution and place their trust in God.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Express. News Express continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Glad to have you join us. Daytime temperatures across the northern region are expected to remain very high, with maximum values ranging between 38 and 42 degrees Celsius. Residents are strongly advised to avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight, stay hydrated, and take necessary precautions. Thermal discomfort will also continue, particularly across the north-central cities. For Friday, mostly sunny skies will prevail across the northern parts of the country. Further south, increased moisture content combined with onshore wind flow from the ocean will enhance weather activity. This is expected to result in cloud buildup and increased convective activity, especially along the coastal areas and the inland cities of the south. Additionally, isolated thunderstorms may develop over parts of the central region later in the day. And that's the weather forecast for Friday. I'm Safia Saynusa. Thank you for watching.
Welcome back from that short break. And in business news, President Bola Tinubu has launched Nigeria's National Halal Economy Strategy, a policy initiative aimed at positioning the country to tap into the $7.7 trillion global halal market and accelerate economic diversification. The president, who was represented at the launch by Vice President Kashim Shettima to unveil the initiative at the presidential villa in Abuja. The policy is expected to add an estimated $1.5 billion to Nigeria's gross domestic product by 2027. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, says President Bola Tinubu's economic reforms are stabilizing Nigeria's economy, restoring confidence, and putting the country on a sustainable growth path after years of uncertainty. The minister stated this in an interview with newsmen in Abuja. He stated that the removal of fuel subsidy and the unification of the foreign exchange rate were deliberate decisions taken earlier in the administration to fix deep structural problems that threatened the country's economic survival. And on the foreign scene, indirect talks between United States and Iranian officials have begun in Oman amid weeks of escalating tensions and fears of a military confrontation between the two countries. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has traveled to Omani capital for the discussions, while United States President Donald Trump is represented by his advisors Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. An Iranian Minister of Foreign Affairs spokesperson says the goal of the meeting is to reach a fair, mutually satisfactory and honorable agreement regarding the nuclear issues. That exact topic of discussion remains unclear, as the Trump administration has been pushing for issues beyond Iran's nuclear program to be on the table despite clear opposition to Tehran. Canada is set to open its first diplomatic outpost in Greenland in a significant show of the solidarity following United States President Donald Trump's threat to take control of the territory. A delegation of senior Canadian officials, including Governor General Mary Simon and Foreign Minister Anita Anand, are traveling to Greenland today to formally open Canada's consulate, accompanied by a Canadian Coast Guard ship. Ahead of the trip, Simon said in a speech that Canada stands firmly in support of the people of Greenland who will determine their own future. The visit comes amid a similar trip made by the French officials who were due to open their own consulate in the territory the same day. And in sport, former Super Eagles captain Nwankwo Kanu has confirmed that he will feature alongside Austin J.J. Okocha, Daniel Amokachi, Finidi George, and other African football greats in the African Legends United Gala match scheduled for March 28 in Abuja. Kanu disclosed these on the sidelines of the African Continental Free Trade Area Festival in Abuja, saying the match is aimed at promoting African culture and empowering grassroots communities. The Nigerian Boxing Federation will conduct a national open trial for the selection of boxers to represent Nigeria at the forthcoming Commonwealth Games from March 1st to 6th at the Bray Ayonotes Boxing Complex, National Stadium, Lagos. In a letter of notification, an invitation addressed to all the Federation's affiliates signed by the Secretary General, the Federation said the trials are open to all national boxers within Nigeria and in the diaspora, including all affiliated clubs state, associations and institutions. The objective of the trial is to ensure a transparent and merit-based selection of the best boxers to represent Nigeria at the Commonwealth Games. As Global TV News Express comes to an end, here is a recap of our top stories. On Global TV News Express, President Bola Tinubu has met with key stakeholders of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, at the Presidential Villa in Abuja to review preparations for the party's forthcoming convention and congress. In business, President Bola Tinubu has launched Nigeria's National Halal Economy Strategy, a policy initiative aimed at positioning the country to tap into the $7.7 trillion global halal market and accelerate economic diversification. On the foreign scene, indirect talks between United States and Iranian officials have begun in Oman amid weeks of escalating tensions and fear of military confrontations between the two countries. And in sports, the Nigerian Boxing Federation will conduct a national open trial for the selection of boxers to represent Nigeria at the forthcoming Commonwealth Games from March 1st to 6th at the Bright Ionut Boxing Complex, National Stadium, Lagos. And that's it on News Express. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365, and Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using our Global TV NG. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching.